afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started with our CSLIP application workshop. So thank you to all those who stayed after the TAC meeting, and then welcome to those also online. My name is Carrie McNeil with the Broward MPO, and I'm joined by Fazil Qureshi, who will be also presenting during the workshop today. So we've got a full agenda. We'll try to get through as quickly as possible, but this is the annual CSLIP application workshop. We're going to go through, as you can see in the agenda here that's up on the screen, we're going to go through an overview of the CSLIP program first, then a quick overview of the updated program policies, an overview of the required documents. We'll bring up that required documents checklist from the website, and we'll quickly go through that, and there'll be some focus on a couple items here, 3A and B, which are completing the LAP cost estimate form. Fazil will give us a live demonstration on how to fill out the cost estimate, the LAP cost estimate, and then also just introduce you to the new TA funding application that's available for this cycle. And then we'll have a special reminder regarding Safe Streets for All, the Safe Streets policies request, and then we'll go over some important dates and deadlines and some Q&A. So, and then down at the bottom here, you can see just have some reminders at the bottom of the agenda, which I'll go through when we get to it. So jumping back up, we'll go ahead and start with the overview of the CSLIP program. Okay. So again, my name is Carrie, and this is the Complete Streets and Other Localized Initiatives Program, or CSLIP application workshop. We are going into cycle 9 of CSLIP. Quick reminder for those of you who are new, CSLIP is a program that provides funding for small local transportation improvement projects, which improve the safety and mobility for all transportation users in Broward. It is a competitive funding program. And each year, the process is we first start with the application development by the local agencies. These projects are, they come from you all, and then which is the phase that we're at right now. And then next after that will be the application submittal, and we'll go over the process for submitting and this year's deadline. Then the evaluation ranking takes place by MPO staff, and then after that, vetting. And then by the MPO, and then programming. The MPO and FDOT vet the projects, and then we program, and I'll go a little bit more into the vetting and programming later in this PowerPoint. So the program policies can be found on the CSLIP website, and I'll go through that in a little bit here, how to find them. Just a reminder, back in July of 2023, we did bring some staff-initiated policy program updates that were approved by the board in July 2023. So those are up on the website. Just a reminder that those are there. They're a little bit different from last year. And if you'd like to view the approved changes on your own time, you can, in detail, you can go to the agendas and minutes webpage for the July 13th, 2023 board meeting and view action item number 2 and its associated attachments. And then again, the full program policies are posted on the application information webpage of the Broward MPO's website. So each year we receive the project applications, and the projects are digitized in GIS. So we've got, single segment and multi-segment projects. And then after these projects are digitized, for each of the evaluation criteria, each evaluation criteria has an associated buffer. So the geographic-based ranking tool draws a buffer around those projects. For example, 200 feet, quarter mile, etc. And then for each evaluation criteria, there's an associated set of data, shape files, and we see which data the buffer grabs for each of those. So it is a objective ranking tool, an objective process with a geographic based ranking tool. And so from that ranking tool, we get a list of ranked projects. And so you can see here, for example, our latest priority list of projects was from cycle 8. So you've got the total points and the final rank and the project cost, etc. After the projects are ranked, the MPO conducts a completeness and eligibility review. After that, FDOT conducts their own feasibility review. And then after that, we review the FDOT vetting document. And then any coordination with the local agencies that needs to take place based on any comments can take place. And then the vetting closeout. So CSLIP receives 20% of the funding in the 2045 MTP, Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So out of the 6 funding programs, again, 20% of the funds go towards CSLIP. So after the projects are ranked and the list is produced, projects are incorporated into the multimodal priorities list, or the MMPL. Then the FDOT draft tentative work program is approved by our board. After this, the CSLIP program list of projects is produced and award letters are issued. And then after that, funded projects are incorporated into the TIP, for the Transportation Improvement Program. Here's an example of the program list of projects. So you can see that the projects that are highlighted in light blue are ones from Cycle 7, for example, that were programmed and will receive funding. And just a reminder that when you do when your project is programmed, typically 5 years from when it's programmed, you will receive design funds. So just pulled an example from the most recent TIP here, or the 2024 to 2028 TIP. You can see this project is receiving design funds in 2024, and then 3 years later will receive construction funds in 2027. Project delivery options for CSLIP projects. The projects are to be delivered by the local agencies via LAP, and then they have the option to use MTech as well to deliver those projects. Oops. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. And we're going to go to the CSLIP webpage. And if you haven't been here in a while, just a refresher, from the MPO homepage, you can go to what we do and then funding programs. And then on the left-hand side, click on CSLIP. And the overview page, it'll take you to the overview page first. We've got a bunch of CSLIP updates. There's some important information in there if you haven't checked that page recently. But what we will focus on today for this application workshop is the application information tab on the website. So if you go to application information, the first thing I will touch on is the program policies. Again, like I stated a few minutes ago, these were updated in July 2023. The changes were not in effect in cycle 8, but they will take effect for cycle 9. So I'll just zoom in here a little bit. And I'll just point out some of the notable changes is we went from 3 million as the construction funds cap to 4 million. So again, this cycle for cycle 9, the cap per project for construction costs will be $4 million. And then same thing with the project minimum that was raised as well. So it used to be $500,000. It is now $750,000 for cycle 9. Just a couple of the other notable changes. There were some changes to, this is page 3 of 3. There were some changes to this bullet here where we strengthened the policy to be a little bit more, basically a little bit more strict with the points deduction if a local agency defaults on a LAP administered project through CSLIP. So definitely, familiarize yourself with that. And then down here towards the bottom, if an applicant requests for a change in project scope, which results in a change in budget of more than 30%, either 30% more or 30% less, this would require approval from the board. So those are the ones I'd like to highlight. If you have any questions, we have a Q&A session at the end. If you have any policy questions, again, this was approved by the board back in July of 2023. Okay, so jumping into number 3 on the agenda, we're going to go into the overview of required documents. So on this page here, if you click on application checklist, that'll bring up the list of required documents. I also, for those of you who are here in person, I went ahead and stapled the list of required documents to the back of the agenda, the paper agenda, so that you have that for reference. It does have a few hyperlinks on it this year. So obviously it's not going to be very much use to you on paper, but if you did want to pull that up on the website, these blue, the blue text here, they're hyperlinks. So just to try to make things a little bit easier for you when you're going through this. So the first is project location map, pretty self-explanatory. And then the second is existing and proposed typical section for the project. Those are both required documents. And then of course, a detailed scope for the proposed project. So definitely include the specific improvements and different scope elements for the project. Another required document is a map denoting the right-of-way for the project. So it could be a right-of-way map, a plat, or a survey. Just added this note this year that BCPA maps are not sufficient. Okay, now these next few lines, these next few rows are in regards to the resolution of support for a project. So the first one is a resolution from the applicant's governing board approving the specific project, which includes a commitment to operation and maintenance. And then the resolution language template is located on the application information page. I'll go ahead and take you to that right now just so that you can see it. So if you go back to application information, the button just below application checklist is that resolution language template. So it's 2 pages. You've got the first one is for a single agency or a lead agency for partner applications. And then the second one I'll go over in just a sec. Okay, so then the second row is resolution from the governing board that has ownership of the associated right-of-way where the project is proposed, approving the specific project and commits to operation and maintenance. And this is, it says if applicable because it's just if applicable if the applicant is not the right-of-way owner and if the applicant isn't committing to operation and maintenance. And then the third row is, if applicable, a resolution from the partner agency if submitting a joint application. So I know I've got I think I got a question recently, like maybe last week, about submitting a joint application. Yes, you can submit a joint application to CSLIP. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to go over it. Also in this pre-application meetings as well, we can talk about it. But the resolution language template for if you're submitting a joint application is here as well. So endorsement for partner applications, you could follow this resolution language here. Okay, now moving down to detailed public support. Detailed public support, each city is a little different. And then each, area of a city is a little different. So we leave it up to the cities to, gather public support and do public outreach how they think is best. We definitely look to see that there's been an attempt to outreach to the community, that the scope of the project is clear in that outreach. We ask for pretty thorough documentation, whether it was, a hybrid public meeting, a public meeting at a, city-owned facility, or if you go out to an HOA and do a presentation at a neighborhood HOA, looking for meeting minutes, copy of the presentation. If you send out door flyers, submit a copy of that flyer. Make sure that there's information on how to contact the appropriate staff person at your agency if someone has questions about a project. And then next is the completed FDOT cost estimate form. So I'll go ahead and stop there and let Fazil go through the cost estimate, how to fill out the cost estimate template.
All right, everyone. My name is Fazil Qureshi. I'm a senior engineer here at the Broward MPO. So I'm gonna go over how you fill out the FDOT lab administration cost estimate template and the other resources that we provided to you all and how to use those to help develop the cost estimate template. So first off, as Carrie had stated, on the CSLIP application information page, there's this cost estimate form link. please click on that and it'll pop up this folder. Now, once you download this folder, please go to the lab administered cost estimate template. If you are proposing a project along an FDOT facility and you please remember you need to also receive a letter of consistency from the department. But for all local and county road facilities, please use the lab administered cost estimate template. So once you open it up, there's a few things we want to go over to start off. So once this loads up, next to the project description, please put down your project name, and please, as part of the project name, please list if the name of the road or something that can be very easily identifiable for us as we're evaluating the project. Now, underneath, in the cost estimate, there are two separate categories. There's the FHWA participating category as well as the FHWA non-participating category. All FHWA non-participating items have to be paid for through local funds. All right, so as you go down on the cost estimate template, there's a pay item numbers. The pay item numbers are the FDOT pay item numbers, and I'll show you where you can find those online. The pay item description, that's in the next column. That pay item description can be obtained from the pay item number on FDOT's database. So once you get to participating and non-participating items, please list your quantities. Please use the unit that's listed in FDOT's pay item database. And right after that, please put down your engineer's unit cost. If you have a database for your own unit costs at the cities, go ahead and use that. However, if you don't, I'm going to show you where you can find some of that information on FDOT's database. So please make sure for both FHWA participating items and FHWA non-participating items, please inflate those engineers' unit costs to 9 years out. That'll be when construction would be programmed for your specific project. Then your subtotal costs will automatically populate. As you scroll down, your funds for construction, FHWA participating will pop up here. It'll automatically calculate. Your non-participating construction costs will pop up here, as well as your subtotal, which is the combination of your participating and non-participating costs. Now below here, an adjustment that we made last year was we wanted to make sure that you all are filling out the information that's being requested, not just by the MPO, but also by FDOT on these cost estimates. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So if your municipality is looking for design funds to be reimbursed, on row 59, which is labeled preliminary engineering design, this is where you would put down those costs. So as you scroll over, underneath participating and non-participating items. For all non-participating items, or FDOT will only reimburse items that are directly related to the FHWA participating items. So if you have non-participating items, a local agency is responsible for paying for the design for those items and doing the CEI, the construction administration for those items. So in these yellow boxes, please place the percent that you all are going to use for the project for design. And if you scroll down here for line number 62, this is where you would place your CEI percentage cost. So go ahead and enter a percent here, and it'll automatically calculate your CEI cost based upon the construction cost. Now, line number 60, if we scroll back up, this is where you have your contingency. Now, this contingency is a percent of your total construction cost. So as soon as you put a percent there, it'll automatically populate to the right. Now, scrolling down. Over the past few years, I'm sure many of you have received an email from the MPO regarding filling out the bottom right-hand corner of your FDOT lab administered cost estimates. So we're trying to make it a little bit more prevalent by making it a little more obvious that these are boxes that need to be filled in. So please fill out all the yellow boxes on the bottom right of the FDOT cost estimate template. And also remember that this FDOT cost estimate template does need to be signed and sealed. Now on the bottom corner, this is, we inserted a box for the inflation percent. We inserted this, so then that way, when the MPO and FDT are evaluating your application, we can have somewhat of an understanding of what's the inflation factor you all use from on a year-to-year basis. So if you see some costs are very much inflated, this will at least give us some background. And not just for us, but it'll also assist your municipality for 8 years out from now or 6 years out from now. You know, the team at your city may not have been the same team that filled out the cost estimate template at that time. So this will also give us some background once design and construction begins of how the cost was, how the municipality came up with that cost. So I'm gonna go over where you can find, now I'm gonna go over where you can find the FDOT pay item costs or the pay item descriptions, and then I'll go over the cost. So there's another link. It's called the pay item database. Click on that. It's going to take you here. If you know your pay item description, you can find it by clicking on these indexes. If you are not sure what the pay item description is or the pay item number is, you can click on master pay item list. Once it loads, you can scroll down to description and you can type in a short description of what you're looking for. So for instance, let's use a sidewalk. So if you type in sidewalk here and you click apply, demo. Okay, demoed. All right, so you can scroll down. And if you're looking, for instance, foreign sidewalk, you can go down and just scroll down until you see a pay item that's similar to what you're looking for. So in this case, 522 -1, which is concrete sidewalks, driveways, and it's 4-inch thick. It also gives you your unit of measurement. Now, if you want to see what other activities this pay item entails, and you want to learn a little bit more about the pay item specifically, you can scroll back up. You get that pay item number and you go back to this page, which first was the page that loaded up. You go down your BOE chapter index. For this item, from 500 to 599, scroll down. And you will see 522-1, concrete sidewalk driveways 4-inch thick. So you can click this plus sign and it'll do a drop-down menu. And it will give you some other background of how to calculate any concrete sidewalk and driveways 4-inch thick pay item for your engineer's cost estimate. It'll also give you some other related notes that could be useful. If you scroll down to the bottom of it, once again, this is the pay item number and in the description and the unit of measurement. Now, last but not least, how can you come up with a cost if you don't have a cost or a database of your own? Okay, here, this is where I have to go down, right? To here. So, here. Okay. So once you click on that other link, it'll take you to FDOT's historical item average cost report. If you scroll down here, this is where you can find the average cost of all pay items that FDOT has used in the last 6 months, the last 12 months, as well as what's the weighted average of, or what's the average cost of the pay items for our specific county. So our specific county is under the market area moving averages. I'm sure you all know we're market number 12. If you don't know that, you can always go down here and click on this link, and you can just go ahead and find Broward, which in this case it's 12. So we're paired with Palm Beach. So you can go back. Oh, or not. Oh, bizarre. Okay. All right, so then you can go down here to market area moving averages and you go to market area 12. You can either click on the PDF or the Excel sheet. I'll click on PDF. So you can scroll down to 522-2 or 522-1. You'll see all the pay item numbers on the far left-hand side. Down. Eventually, when you find your pay item, you can also Control F. This document is searchable. So you'll see underneath item 522-1, it'll give you your pay item description once again, your unit of measurement. And underneath the weighted averages, it's going to give you what FDOT has paid in Broward County for this specific pay item over the duration that's listed up here, which is 1 year. If there is a pay item that you found on FDOT's unit database that does not appear in Broward, it doesn't mean it's not being used. It could just mean that just in Broward County, it was not Broward County or Palm Beach County, it was not used in the last 12 months. In that case, I would suggest that you go up and you look at first the 6-month moving averages and then the 12-month. If you still can't find it, feel free to look at some of the previous years. And remember, with that cost that you're going to insert into your cost estimate template, please inflate those costs to 9 years out. Here.
Great, thank you. All right, we're going to jump back into the required document checklist. So we just went over how to fill out the cost estimate form. So the next one is the FDOT Transportation Alternatives Set Aside Program Funding Application, or the TA application, as we call it. So you'll see there's a hyperlink here. So go ahead and click on it, see if it works. Great. Okay. So you'll notice that this form is different from the one that you all filled out last year in cycle 8, the past couple of cycles. So just want to introduce you to this form. This is an FDOT form that is required if you are going to submit a CSLIP project. And it's pretty straightforward. But if you have any questions, I will do my best to address them. And if I can't answer them, I will then turn to FDOT. But so we've got the applicant, agency sponsor type, agency name of the applicant, contact name and title, telephone number and email address, very similar to the last form. Details about the local agency program certification. Part 3, project information. So project name and title. Is this a resubmittal of a previously unfunded project? Yes or no? Does this project connect to previously funded project, etc.? And then here, you can copy from, if you'd like, from the scope that you're already submitting for the CSLIP application. So a lot of this information should be very similar to what you're already providing us. So you should be able to copy paste a lot of things in addition to answering the multiple choice questions. Part 5, project type, infrastructure versus non-infrastructure, infrastructure eligible activity, area conditions. So I would, definitely save enough time, set aside enough time to fill out this form. It is definitely longer. It's a longer form than the previous version. So again, definitely set aside time to work on filling this out. And please reach out if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to assist. Okay. And then the last 4 on this required document checklist are going to be if applicable. So a page from a local plan or program that references the project. If you have it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. It's not a required document. Second is provide any supporting data and technical analysis referenced in the purpose and need. If you are submitting a project where there's a lane elimination proposed or a mid-block crossing proposed, things like that, this would be applicable. So again, like a traffic study for a lane elimination proposal, access management impacts, or mid-block crossings, we would want to see that supporting data or technical analysis. And then if the project is a part of a Broward MPO endorsed corridor study, please submit the name of the study and the page on where the project is referenced so that we can apply some bonus points to your project. And then the last one, if the project is adjacent to any upcoming or currently underway projects, provide available documentation verifying the adjacent projects. So that is just really, valuable information for us to know as we're reviewing the project. So that concludes the document checklist. I'll minimize it in case we have any questions in the Q&A portion. the next thing I'll go over is you can find the evaluation chart and the evaluation data here on the website. So just a reminder that as mentioned in the presentation earlier, we do have a board approved set of criteria and associated data sets that we use and a scoring system for CSLIP. So if you want to take a look at that, it's here. Again, it hasn't changed since cycle 8, so that's going to be the same. And then if you'd like to take a look at the GIS data, we've got it in a zip file here as well. Jumping back up to the application copy tab, I'm going to bring this up. And typically as in the CSLIP application workshops, we would do a live demonstration of how to fill out the entire CSLIP, the online CSLIP application, which we use Survey123 for. This year, we're not doing that because we didn't change any of the application questions. So it's going to be the exact same questions as last year. So, but as always, we have a full copy of the application question list posted on the website year round. So if you want to know exactly what's going to be asked in the application, I welcome you to open up this document, and you can even save a copy to your own computer and just start working in this so that when you go to fill out the online portal, you have everything saved here. So, we've got, going back to it, we've got a introduction. Have you met with the MPO staff for a pre-application meeting? If you answer no on that, it'll tell you, you can't fill out this form. So just a reminder that a pre-application meeting is required if you're going to submit a CSLIP application. So that's kind of the first order of business. And then we've got some general project information, project name, location, is this a joint application, et cetera. Then page 3 is the applicant information. Are you the main point of contact? If not, who is, et cetera. Page 4 is the facility location and limits. So we'd like the to and from limits and the facility name. And then page 5 is the eligibility verification criteria. So we're looking for the facility type. Do you own the facility? If not, who does? And then just a reminder that if you submit a project where if there's any portion of the project that's in a right of way that you don't own, you have to have that that agency's approval in order for us to review the application. And any right of way that needs to be obtained should be obtained prior to the CSLIP application submittal. And then 6 is the facility description. So we ask you the right of way width, the number of travel lanes, existing lane width, proposed lane width, anything that's applicable. Please fill that out there. And then we're going to ask you all the project elements on page 7. And then page 8, you're going to give us a little bit more detail on those project elements. Page 9 is a little bit more of a written response. It's going over the purpose and need. What does this project solve the problem of? Why is it the best solution? How does it fulfill any of the Commitment 2045 goals and objectives? 10 is the project cost. So we're looking for the total construction. This part's total construction cost, estimated funds for construction, and annual operation and maintenance costs. And then the last part is where you will upload your supporting documents. So all of those required documents that we just went over in that list, there's going to be an option, an opportunity to upload all those. So, again, we've got project location map, typical sections, detailed scope, map. There'll be an option to upload all this here. There is a 10 megabyte limit to those files. The tool only allows you to upload one file. So if you have multiple PDFs, please combine them and submit it as one. And then we've got that 10 megabyte limitation per question. So if your documents go over that 10 megabytes, you will just have to reach out to me and I'll send you a link, most likely to OneDrive, so that you can upload those larger documents. And that's pretty much it. After the required document section, you just say that you've filled out the application to the best of your abilities and you submit it. So again, we're not going to do a new live demonstration. We have a live demonstration of how to fill out that application on the online portal from last year's application workshop. I will go ahead and keep that up on the website so that you all can refer to it if you'd like to take a look. And then we'll also put the recording from today's application workshop on the website as well. Okay. So that's it for the website. I'm just going to go into a few important dates and deadlines to wrap things up for CSLIP. The cycle 9 pre-application meetings will be held entirely virtually. So it's not in person this year. And from the last week of May through the middle of June. So that invitation to schedule pre-application meetings was already sent out. It was sent out to all the TAC members, to the city managers, MPO board members, and then any staff who had scheduled their pre-application meeting on behalf of their local agency last year in cycle 8. So hopefully you all saw that invitation. If not, just announcing it now that we have sent out the invitation. We have 11 local agencies that have already reserved a meeting as of today. So congrats to you all. You're one step ahead, and we've got you on the calendar. Hopefully you've received that meeting invite. If you haven't scheduled a meeting, if you'd like to, you can contact Kathy Singer. Got her email here, and I've also got it printed out on the printed version of the agenda, her email and phone number. So we look forward to seeing you all there. Again, it'll be virtual. And then this CSLIP submittal portal will open on July 10th. And then of course, it's going to be accessible, like always, through the CSLIP webpage. The deadline this year is going to be September 4th. So we are having the pre-application meetings earlier. They were in July last year. So we're having them earlier because we have an earlier deadline this year. So